okay? And again, with this other argument, if you start human trials early, people will not necessarily die because we know this drug is not that toxic. So it's the assumption is, or the premise is questioned. And an alternative to the premise is then given. And the third way is to rebut the horns, which is to take the whole argument and make a different argument about the same kind of situation. You produce a counter dilemma showing a different point of view.
So do you see how we
okay?
could use this in mock trial, guys?
I go to college.
Okay,
Are you there?
yeah, we're here.
Are you guys hearing me?
Yep, we hear you, loud and clear. Yeah, I was just saying that this is definitely useful for mock trial, what we're doing this.
Oh, this is really important, guys. If you go to college, then you may get a high-paying job. If you go straight into business, you will be making money right away. So if you go to college or go straight into business, so either one may get a high-paying job, or you make money right away. Look on the bright side. So this is turning the argument totally around, okay? There are people who go to college and end up being a part of Batista, what is that, Batista, a barista.
Yeah,
At,
Starbucks. At Starbucks.
at Starbucks.
Yeah.
You know, so just because you go to college doesn't mean you're gonna get a high paying job. The probability is high. But, you could not go to college and be, Bill Gates, who dropped out of college. Who's a billionaire today. Okay, so here are the ways to do it. You go through the horns, grasp it by the horns, or rebut the horns. You produce a counter dilemma, looking at it a different way, okay? If you answer a fool according to his folly, then he won't be wise in his own eyes. If you do not answer him according to his folly, then you will not be like him. So you either rebuke him or you avoid his problem. So it's a counter dilemma that you can produce that is totally opposite of the first one. So listen to that CD again. Make sure you understand the three ways you can go by a dilemma. And again, mock trial and debates, there's nothing better than to catch somebody in a debate with a good rebuttal. Okay, I'm gonna skip this one here because I want to get to the next section. Okay, rules of inference. We are going to now do proofs. Have you guys gone through this lesson at home yet?
Yes.
How many of you have
Okay.
done lesson 13? Okay, good. Everybody.
Okay, we've already looked at this one. If the book of Hebrews is scripture, then it was either written by Paul or Apollos. If Paul wrote it anonymously to Hebrews, then he wrote it anonymously to some of his letters. And they just, then he wrote anonymously to Hebrews, then he wrote anonymously to some of the others. If Paul wrote Hebrews, if Paul did not write anyway, we've done this before. We've showed that it's valid. Now what we're going to do is we're going to show validity a different way. What we've done here is we've shown that it's valid. We have true, 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 false, and we have a conflict showing that it's valid. But we don't know why it's valid. And when we do proofs, we're going to understand better as to why it's valid, as opposed to why something else might be invalid. So, here we go. Here's that same argument, we showed it before. and we can show that it's valid. So here's how we do approve. Now watch carefully. Here's that same argument set out like a shorter truth table, where we
Everyone
would
pay
do
attention. This
this
is what we're
true,
doing for the
this
next few
true,
months.
this true, this true, this true, and this false. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take this first argument and we're gonna put it up here and we're going to call it line number 1 of our proof. We're gonna take the second one and call that line number 2 of our proof. We're gonna take the third one and do the same thing. Take the fourth one, do the same thing, and take the fifth line and give it a line number. The line numbers are important because we're gonna refer to those line numbers. Now, we have the conclusion over here all by itself. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the therefore and the A, okay? And we're going to put it next to the last premise. So we've taken this and we moved it up here. Okay,
So we're just
so I
saying
want you
that.
to look at, pull out your appendix B.
Now we get your appendix B out. All right, we got it.
Okay, now I want you to look at this and take a look at if S, then P or A, and down here we have S. What does that sound like? If P, then Q,
Therefore,
P.
P.
Therefore, if P, then Q,
Therefore,
P, therefore,
Q.
where do you see that on your appendix B?
Modus ponens.
Modus ponens, right?
Yep.
So if we use modus ponens, the rules of inference, okay, what can we say about P or A? If P, then Q, P, therefore Q. If S, then P or A, therefore what?
S. S.
Can you hear us?
S.
What did I hear?
I said S.
No, we already have S.
Well,
If S, then P or Q, we have S, therefore
We need Q over here, guys.
Q.
P or Q. Did I hear P or Q?
Yes,
P or Q.
Or Q.
which
See the similarity? This is a constant, but this is a variable. So this is a variable, so we're gonna say that P is the same as S, and we're gonna say that P or A is the same as Q. We know S is true, so that's like P is true, therefore Q is true, and Q is P or A.
You see what we're
So what
doing?
we do here is we put the conclusion, the inference. If
This is one.
S, then P or Q, S, therefore P and or Q is line 1, line 5, and modus ponens.
Line 1,
Does
Line
everybody
5.
see that?
and then we said why, because of modus ponens. All right, does everyone see it? Sort of, a little bit? Yes? All right, keep going, we gotta get to the next one now. Now what can we do? We're good.
Okay, you got it?
Mm-hmm. Now what are we gonna do now? We got, this one's taken care of, and this one's taken care of, so we have this one, and this one. So we have to come up with something for these, right here.
H. If H, then not L.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys, are you ready to go on?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, so, what else do you see here
If H, then
in
not L.
these two conditionals?
If H, then not.
If P, then H. If H, then L. Look at your rules of inference
Look at the
and
rules
tell
of
me
inference.
something that looks like that.
Hypothetical syllogism?
Syllogisms.
Hypothetical syllogisms?
Hypothetical syllogism, right.
Yeah, we have to.
Okay, a hypothetical syllogism is if P, then H, if H, then L, therefore, if P, then what?
Then
Or
H
then L.
or L?
If P, then H, if H, then L,
If P, then L?
if P, then L,
Yeah,
right?
so we're at 2 and a 3 now.
I think I'm getting ahead of myself. Look at, let's look at this one here. If H, then L, not L.
Yeah, we can
What
do,
does that
you can do
remind
it
you
more
of?
than one way, is
If
what he's
P,
saying.
then Q, not Q.
If P.
Come on, that's the easiest one.
Modus tollens?
Yep,
If P, then Q, not Q, therefore
Not P.
so
not P. So
modus tollens.
Modus tollens.
modus tollens.
Right.
Okay. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Uh-oh.
Let's do the hypothetical syllogism first. Okay, I thought I was doing it the other way. If P, then
You can
H,
do it more
and
than one
H,
way.
then L is the hypothetical syllogism.
Yep.
Therefore, if P, then L. So let's do that one. If P, then L. You guys see if P, then L? Is if P, then H, if H, then L, if P, then L. So if P, then L, we can say 3, that's line 3, then line 2 for a hypothetical syllogism, the HS. Now, we can do
But we could have done it the other
the
way
other
too.
one.
We could have done it the other way too. You can do it more than one way.
If H, then L, not L, therefore what?
Not P.
Not H, and that's
Or not
modus
H.
tollens.
Yeah, which
Wow.
is the same as
Same
that.
thing. Hey, I did get it right.
Yeah.
Okay,
So 7, 4.
so if we take, if P, then L, not L, then for not P. If, oh, come on, what did I do?
Oh. Whew.
Oh, I don't know how I did that.
That's okay, at least you came back.
Okay, so if P, then L, we have not L up here, therefore not P. Modus tollens, modus tollens. Now, look what we have not P here, and we know that P or A is true, and not, and, P is false. Therefore, what do we know about A?
It's an or,
If the
guys.
if the disjunction
Disjunction.
is true, we're assuming each one of these is true. If P or A is true, but P is actually not
False.
true, then what do we know about A?
That's false?
A has to be true.
Oh.
The disjunction, look at your,
Disjunction.
rules of replacement, number 4, disjunctive syllogism. If, we have P or Q, not P, therefore Q. The only way this can be true is if one of the two variables is true. If P is not true, then Q has got to be true.
So this is true. Does
So,
that make sense?
that's the same thing as A. And look at that. This is what we wanted to prove, that A was true, okay? And we proved that A was true.
Using these. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And
Delta's like,
what
yeah.
is, does anyone know what Q means?
What?
Does
Quid.
anyone know what QED means?
It's Latin, guys.
It's Latin, guys.
Wait. It's
Quid.
like
Equit something.
Quid.
It has been demonstrated.
Yeah, but what is it? What is it though? Quid. Equid.
Quid est demonstrata.
There we go.
S.
Quid est demonstrata. I'm gonna write that down. Quid est demonstrata. Oh, there's the whole thing.
Okay. Here are your rules of inference, okay? These are all here. So, if P then Q, P, therefore Q. If P then Q, not Q, then therefore not P. If P then Q, if Q then R, therefore if P then R. The disjunctive syllogism is P or R, not P, therefore, P or Q, not P, therefore Q. The conjunction is interesting. If you have P is true somewhere, and Q is true, you can combine them together, because if they're both true, the and has got to be true also. And we already looked at the constructive dilemma, okay, which is if P then Q, and if R then S, P or R, therefore Q or S. Simplification, if I have P and Q that is true, and so the conjunction is true, each of the components has to be true, I can separate it and say if P then Q, P.
Why is that capital?
And I could also say if P or and Q, then
Why
Q.
is the first P capital?
Absorption is interesting, okay? This one you're gonna use a lot. Give you proofs. And if P, then Q. So if P, then Q means that if P is true, Q is true. So if P is Q,
True.
is true, then P and Q have got to be true. So you can add the antecedent into the consequent with a conjunction. This is a tool you're gonna use to be able to get a proof into the right form in order to use a replacement.
You're wanting to get down to the, where you see the dot, 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 and you see what your answer needs to be. You wanna try to get to that answer. And however way you can get to that answer, you gotta use these rules of inference to do that. Does that make sense?
And the last one we have here is addition. If P is true, then I can make a disjunction with anything, because I know at least one of these is true. Q could be true, or could not be true, but Q, P or Q has got to be true if P is true. So you're gonna try to get things into a certain form so that you can use the rules of replacement, which is the bottom half of Appendix B. Okay, let's go through a couple of them. I like coffee and I like tea. Therefore, I like coffee or I like wine. Wow. Okay, here's,
That is an addition.
I like coffee and I like tea. Therefore, I like coffee or I like wine. Is this true? Is this valid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Because
know it
it's-
is, because it makes sense to us. We can use simplification, which is if P and Q, I can pull P out. If C and T is true, then C is true. So I can simplify. This is line one. Using simplification, I can say that this is true. Okay? So if I say that this is true, and I want to prove that C or W is true, what rule of
Look
replacement
at
do
your
I
things.
want to use?
Look at your sheets.
Addition?
You gotta get the W.
Addition, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
she got it. Addition.
Addition, we want to use addition. So addition, if we know one is true, you can add anything else to this. This could say, I like coffee and I like spinach, or I like spinach. Even though I don't like spinach, it would still be true.
Because I really love coffee and you like it.
So that's how we use the rules of inference. and we say, it's been proven, I've got the suit, because this is the same as the therefore up here.
We can only put qued if we end up with the same thing that we got.
Okay, we've looked at this one before, people that are allowed freedom of speech. I'm gonna put these words into an equation. So I have if F, then W, if not F, then R, either F or not F, therefore either W or both not F and R.
Whoa.
That is how we convert this argument into symbolic language. Okay? So we're gonna look at some of these things. If F, then R, if not F, if F, then W, if not F, then R. If either F or not F, therefore W or both not R, not F and R. So we want to get this into the form of a constructive dilemma. Okay? So how do we get this into a form of constructive dilemma? Constructive dilemma says if P and Q, therefore P, if P, then P and Q is what we want to get to we need a P and Q to use the constructive dilemma. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add if, we're going to take this form right here, okay, if not F, then R, then if not F, then not F and R. We already looked at that, then you can add, let's see, what do we do here? That is,
Look at your rules. of
we use
replacement.
absorption to do that. We want to absorb, we can, if not F, if not F, then not F and R. If not F, then we know not F is true. For this to be true, not F has to be true. Therefore, we can add a true to this, and a true
On both are
is,
true.
we can use absorption. Then we can use conjunction. We have, conjunction is where we have a P, something that's true here, and something that's true here, and we can add them. 10 more minutes. Okay, so we're going to take something that's true and something else that's true and put them together. So this line here we know is true. So we can take this line, which is true, and this line here, which is true, and use the conjunction to add them together. So if F, then W, and if not F, then both not F and R.
Because we know
All
this
we've
is
done
true
is
and
put
this
these
is true.
together.
Does that
Okay?
make sense? They're both true. And we use the
We're
conjunction.
trying to get to this point right here. We need to know where we're going. We want to have a W or not F or R. What do we know about an argument like this? This is the form of a constructive dilemma.
Yeah, I'll try to focus, because this is, if we can get this, we're good.
So, a constructive dilemma says, if P, then Q, and if both P, let me say this again. If P then Q, and both R and S, if P or R, then Q or S. So look at this, we have a P over here. We have that. and we have a W or that.
See, this
So
is all one thing,
if we
guys,
have-
that's all one thing, so it's,
If we say, if we take the W or F O, we have, excuse me, we have F, if not F, then R. We can always, we know that's true, we can always add another component to a disjunction. Because we know this is true over here, so whether this is true or false, this whole thing is true. Whether the W is true or the W is false, we know that the disjunction is true because we already know that if, that not F and R up here, where is it? Not F or R is true. So, we've taken this is line 5, which is here, and line 3, which is up here, F or not F, therefore W or not F or R. Lot to get, we're gonna do a lot of examples next week. We're gonna spend a lot of time just going through the examples of proofs.
spend some time
Listen
on
to
this.
the tape
This
again, here's
really
the summary. The supremacies are symbolized and numbered. The intermediate conclusions are deduced by applying the rules of inference, and for each step, a justification is given. You have to say why you're making that statement, in which the numbers of the steps are there, and the rule that you're using is in abbreviation next to there.
Y'all look up here.
And you keep on going until you get the desired conclusion. And the 9 rules of inference are here. Okay, and I'm going to stop here, and next week, we're gonna do a lot of examples. This is the lesson, which I think is the hardest
It
lesson
is.
in this week.
This is the hardest lesson,
lesson.
and he's doing it
You've gotta
via
practice
remote.
it,
So
listen
this
and
was
see
not
these
easy,
again.
people.
And the rest of the semester will go a lot easier.
Alright,
I think that's it for today, guys.
alright, thanks, Dad.
You
Thank you.
still there?
Yeah, we're here. Yeah, we're here.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Alright, bye.
Tell Sean, thank you.
Yeah, I will.
Is he in the beach?
Yes, he is at the beach.
Lucky, I'm going camping.
What, the Talkies? They're not spicy, they're just
lucky.
weird.
I wish I
I
could be at
oh,
the beach.
my brother.
Talkies
Alright,
are
can I
nice.
get somebody to bring this to Sean and tell him thank you? Or say, tell him thank you.
I have
Yes,
one.
in the assembly.
Something.
Alright, so we're going to actually do